Hello traders, Yolanda here with extraordinarytrading.com. So guys, I have been getting a lot of questions from people who want to know how to get started with trading Forex. And I am ecstatic. Those of you who have been with me for a while, you know that I am absolutely passionate about trading Forex. I love it. It offers tremendous financial and time freedom. So this is a great career. It's even perfect for people who are currently working a job and who are interested in getting started because it's a 24-hour market. So here's my advice. And guys, you're going to hear different advice from different people. I am a profitable trader. Whenever you are looking to make a change and do something like this, you want to follow the advice of someone who has done it before, okay? Someone who is succeeding at what they do. There is no shortage of advice out there in the Forex market. However, much of it comes from people who do not trade profitably, okay? They may have experience under their belt, but they don't have the results under their belt, okay? So that's my 2 cents for whatever it's worth to you. Okay, first tip, guys. Make up your mind that you want to trade and take action. A lot of people get caught up in analysis paralysis. They are observing, they're watching, but they're not taking any sort of action. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with going through some sort of a discovery period, but at some point you eventually need to take some sort of action, right? You've got to be in it to win it. Every day, the way that I look at it is that every day that people prolong taking action, it's just a day longer before they actually start making money. That's how I look at it, okay? Here's the next step. Find a Forex broker, okay? You can use Google. You can go to forexpeacearmy.com, and I have absolutely no affiliation with Forex Peace Army. Again, Forex Peace Army, P-E-A-C-E, army.com, and you can research brokers there. My strong advice, guys, go with a regulated broker. Go with a broker that is regulated in the country in which they reside. Many of us, including myself, have had horrible experiences using unregulated brokers. Not to say that you could not have a bad experience with a regulated broker, but at least if you do, you know that you can at least get the government to intervene on your behalf, okay? Read the reviews that people have. Don't expect stellar reviews. You know, someone's going to have a bad experience with with anyone. You know, there could be a broker where 99% of people have had a good experience with them and 1% has had a bad experience. Doesn't mean that they're a bad broker. However, depending on that person's experience, it could be a red flag. Because I specifically had an experience with an unregulated broker who many traders have not encountered the same problem because they probably are not trading profitably. They probably are not making significant profits. So oftentimes, even for shady brokers, you may not have a problem with them as long as you're losing money. But as soon as you start making some money, then all of a sudden the problem arises. So that's why I say stick with a regulated broker, guys. My advice. Okay, the next step is to become educated on trading. Okay? You need to have a game plan as to how you're going to learn to trade. Okay? A lot of people that I talk to, they really don't know how they're going to figure out how to become a trader. They don't. They have opened up an account. They're looking at the charts. They're placing random trades, but they really don't have a game plan on how they're actually going to become a profitable trader, right? Hopefully you guys are following me here. Now, there's multiple ways in which you can go about this. You can have a go at it on your own. That means trying to figure it out on your own. Watching videos, trying to come up with some kind of strategy on your own, or whatever, okay? So understand that option is going to require time. So do you have the time to invest, okay? The average Forex trader, it takes them 10 years before they become profitable. So do you have the time to invest to try and piecemeal some sort of a solution together, okay? One of the challenges with Forex is that because it's easy for anyone to get into it, people assume that it's going to be very simple. They have in their mind this oversimplified process. Add to that the fact that they occasionally stumble into good trades, and that in itself is enough for them to feel like, well, this is pretty simple. I can just figure this out on my own. You may be able to, like I did. I figured it out on my own. I created a strategy myself. It did not take me 10 years to become profitable. It took me a year and a half. However, understand the backstory. Number one, I had 6 figures that I had saved up before I began trading, okay? So I had adequate capital in which I could afford to fumble around a bit, okay, and still survive, okay? That's the other thing. Number 2, I treated my learning as being like 2 full-time jobs. I invested a heavy amount of time, okay? Thousands of hours into practicing trading. Number 3, I lost tens of thousands of dollars before I even got to that point. So you have to understand what the cost is associated with going it on your own. I'm not saying it can't be done. 99% of novice Forex traders believe that they're just going to figure it out on their own. This market churns through people left and right. It has a 90% fail rate. If it was as easy as most people assume, 90% of people wouldn't be failing at it. And ask any professional Forex trader who trades profitably, and I believe they will all have the same piece of advice that I am giving you. It's either you make that investment in terms of your time and your money, or you can get someone to help you. There's lots of courses out there. Some of you know that I recently launched a beta version of a beginner's course. In it, I teach the same strategy that I developed. I developed this strategy years ago. At the time that I developed it, I back tested it against years of prior data, and I used it myself for years, so I know it works. It is what allowed me to defy the odds and become a profitable trader after just a year and a half. So I have a course where I teach that. But like I said, there's other people out there with courses as well and all that. You have to decide what makes sense for you. If you've got time on your hands and you're saying, well, I really don't care about making money, for the next 5-10 years, then it's fine, I think, to have a go at it on your own. Or if you're willing to invest the hours. For me, the other thing I will tell you is that I had quit my job before. So the first day that I began trading, I was doing it full time. Okay. So I'm sharing kind of my backstory so that people understand the path, because I do think that's important. Whenever you are looking at where someone is at, it is important to understand what path they took to get there. Okay. And then also some of you know that I began with day trading stocks. I day traded stocks for 1 year before I started trading Forex. Okay. But I'm digressing, guys. The next thing is, make sure you start out with a demo account. I know everyone is overly eager to get into the market, start trading, and all they're thinking about is the upside potential. I know, I was there too. I completely understand. But understand, this is a market with a 90% fail rate. A 90% fail rate. It takes the average Forex trader 10 years before they become profitable. This is not a market where you want to walk into it and start trading with real money before you know what you're doing. That's not a good idea, okay? Because you can lose that money quite quickly. And a lot of people that I talk to, I know they're not starting out with much money. So that's even more reason for why you want to be properly prepared before you get started. And don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Invest in some sort of education. A lot of new traders, they're so concerned about paying for anything. And I'm not saying you have to. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. I lost tens of thousands of dollars having a go at it on my own. I hear people complaining about paying $200-300 for different courses or whatever. It's nothing in comparison. If people really understood what path they have ahead of them in terms of having a go at it on their own, especially if they're using, a live account, it's not the cakewalk that people assume that it's going to be. In my opinion, it's a much smarter route to get some help. But like I said, people have to do what's best for them. Okay, the other thing is that once you get a demo account, Once you figure out what strategy you want to use, give it 3 months, okay? Another common issue that traders have, especially novice traders, is that they will not stick with anything. They just keep switching from one thing to another. They're not giving it enough time. Markets go through cycles, okay? So you could find a strategy and start using it when the market is doing this, just consolidating. Well, it doesn't mean that your strategy is bad. Understand what the market is doing. There's lots of strategies that may not, quote unquote, work when this is happening. That's okay. Reserve your capital for when the market makes big moves. That's what you want to do. That's the smart way to trade. You don't need to, it's not necessary to walk away each and every day with profits. Why take a trade if there's not a good setup? Okay? Okay, give it 3 months before you decide to make a change, okay? Also, while you're on a demo account, make sure that you're developing good money management habits. Make sure you're using proper risk to reward and money management, okay? So you want to make sure you put on the right position size. It's very easy, if you're not trading with real money, to just put on any old position size. You might put on a 200 lot position, but is that realistic in comparison to the size of the account? Okay, so you need to think about that. And I talk about that in my course as well. So for people who are interested, because I've had some people asking. So guys, I hope this helps, okay? Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. I think I've covered all the basis for what you need in order to get started. I am going to quickly recap. Number 1, make a decision that you want to do it and get started, okay? You're not going to make a single dime sitting on the sidelines, okay? Number 2, find a Forex broker, ideally a regulated one, guys. I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough. Regulated broker, please. You can research their reputation on forexpeacearmy.com, okay? Come up with a game plan as to how you're going to become educated. How are you going to learn how to trade the Forex market? You need to have a game plan as to how that's going to happen, okay? Next, demo account. Start out with a demo account. Stay with that demo account for 3 solid months while you're gaining a solid track record, okay? Stick with the strategy for 3 months. What you're after is, you're not after hitting a home run every day. What you want is consistency. You want a consistent pattern of being profitable, okay? So even if you have a bad week, if the other 3 weeks are winners, you have a profitable strategy, right? So you need to look at it in that way, okay? So, and then again, I talked about developing the proper habits in terms of money management and risk management while you're on the demo account. So again, guys, I hope it helps. Feel free to leave your questions in the comment section below. And as always, happy trading.